Well, hello. Sorry, I was just consulting the magic iPad for something. That intro went by a little quicker than I expected. Anyways, this is a little short notice for me to come on here. Wow, I really look yellow and jaundice. I don't know why. These lights are really... I had this room painted white, sort of a slightly coffee white, in order for it to reflect light better. And now I'm looking very yellow. At least it is on, maybe it's on my monitor. I'm looking on YouTube down below here, and I'm looking a little better on there. But wow, I look very jaundice on my computer screen. Maybe it's just a computer screen. I don't know. Anyways, how y'all doing? I see we got maybe one or two people in here. So, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I wasn't kind of expecting quite to do this, so I just thought I'd pop in, do a little update, and maybe a little drawing, since that's kind of what this channel was supposed to be all about. Chaos is ensuing here at my place. I know it sort of doesn't look like it. There's a little bit of a mess here, but I'm going through the process of trying to move, and it's been a little difficult. It's simply just because trying to find a place right now is a bit tough. The market is a bit tough. There's not a big selection. And I live in Burlington, which is considered, I think, the 6th most expensive city in all of Canada. But I'm in a bit of a tough position because my boss really wants to keep me at work. And I right now live within walking distance of my job, literally like 10 minutes down the road. So I can stay in Burlington and keep paying a large amount of money. I can move to Hamilton, which is sort of the next city connected to this, just sort of, it connects around the lake. So if I don't know how to do it. Anyways, Burlington's up here, you go around the lake, and Hamilton's sort of down here connected to it. There's bus connections because lots of people work between those two cities, and you can take the bridge across. So I don't drive, but I could easily take the bus, but it's like an hour's bus ride. So I could save a couple $100, but spend over $100 on the bus, or just pay the extra bit and live in a slightly smaller place, which is still nice, in a much nicer city. Burlington is much nicer than Hamilton. Best way to describe Hamilton, I kid you not, if you've ever seen Blade Runner, and you know the introduction where you're looking across this futuristic city with all the stacks and they're blowing little flames out of the top, that's Hamilton. Come visit one night and you'll be like, holy crap, that's the beginning of Blade Runner. So yeah, so I'm in a bit of a tough position. There is a place not far from me that would still be within walking distance of work. It's a fair bit of money for a junior 1-bedroom, but it's in a nicer neighborhood, in a nicer city, and everything's within walking distance. And I'm going to see, I won't know if it's still available until tomorrow morning. It could be gone by now. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. If it is still available, I think I have everything ready to try and put in the application for it. And then I have to wait and see if they even accept it. So yeah, and if they don't, then I'm back to square one and still scrambling to try and find out that there's options. I mean, there is options. I say scrambling, but I know I'll likely find a place. It's just locking something down, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I have to start packing everything. I feel like I'm running on empty half the time. I'm burnt out and I'm tired. And I'm stressed, and I have to start packing. I have a lot of things to pack. I don't have a lot of furniture. I've gotten rid of a lot of furniture over time. Like, I don't have a living room. This is my living room. It's my office. Tables and all that are easy to move. They all fold down flat. I'm actually selling off some furniture, some things that I've picked up since I've been living here that don't have any kind of personal attachment to me, and I'm very happy to just let go of and get rid of. Some things that were my parents, I still have. I keep those that I've had for like most of my life, and I really want to keep a couple of things, a few things, dressers and a small little half moon table that we've had since like the 50s. And so, yeah, there's some things I'm going to be keeping, but some things I'm definitely going to I just sell. We're going to have a yard sale in a month. So that's kind of where I'm at. Sorry, that was a whole like 8-minute explanation, but that's why it's been harder to come on here and do streams, is I've been busy doing that. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I don't normally do this, but I am going to anyways. I don't normally get into any controversial topics. Hey, oh look, I have the. Yeah, hey Scott, how you doing, man? Scott Stinker, how you doing? Caleb, yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm incredibly sentimental. I'm very deeply sentimental, maybe to a detrimental level, perhaps, that I don't want to let go of things that were my folks. I have more things that belong to my parents than I do for myself. Well, I have a lot of art supplies. That's one thing. But I do have, like, half of my dad's old slides. I have all the little knickknacks and collector's things that were my mom's. And I guess because my mom died of cancer way too young, I feel like I need to keep those things for her to give them some life in the family, because hers was cut so short that they need to be enjoyed longer. So I've kept them. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of why I keep them. I wanted to come on here and talk. I was kind of hoping maybe more people would be here, but I normally don't get much of a crowd. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I don't know. I could talk about something that may end up getting people pissed off at me right now. Yeah, absolutely, and I do believe that, Junebug, for sure. Yeah, I think that's probably why I do hold on to them. But I've wanted to do a separate short video, and maybe I should do it in a separate short video, but I wanted to, I did want to talk about something. No, it's not Shrek 5. No, I wasn't going to talk about that. No, it was more political based, which could be a little dangerous, but I might do in a separate video. But either way, people are going to see it, and I'd probably end up losing subscribers. Actually, it's big, but it's something I did, because there's a lot going on right now in the world, and I'm Canadian. Yeah. Hopefully it's not Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, that's Lilo and Stitch. Boy, that's a whole nother thing. Again, all of this is things that kind of don't need to be done. I mean, Shrek 5, I guess, okay. I'm not too upset about the change in the animation. It's all progressed. Just keep the characters proper. Lilo and Stitch did not need to be done. If it was a sequel to the animated film, but they're doing it live action, I could kind of deal with that because it's just a sequel. But to actually remake the whole film but just put it in live action for the sake of doing that, why? It just, I don't know. Anyways, mention's still coming in on this. I was going to talk about something else, and I'm hesitant to do so because I know, this is the kind of argument you get into family and they hang up on you. But everybody knows what's going on in the news right now, and Junebug, you're American, and Scott Stinker, you're Scottish, so it's maybe not is controversial with you, but for me this is a big deal right now, and the fact in the political climate right now we're having on the edge of what they call a trade war. I don't think it's a war yet, but it's a trade war. It's not a physical takeover, but it is oh no. But so I think most people kind of know what's going on. I don't need to say much. Caleb, I'm sure you've probably seen enough of the news to know about this. The fact that there's this whole deal with tariffs going on. And then Trump has talked about wanting to make Canada the 51st state. And for the majority of Canadians, I can tell you for like a good 90+% of us, we're not interested in that. I have a lot of amazing friends in the United States. I have really good friends down there. And it's been difficult because right now we're on this thing right now where we're not even buying any American products. It's been a little bit tough because we still want to support Canadian workers, and Canadian workers that work in factories that still make these products that put them together, but the parts come in from the US. So we still try and we still try to support those workers. But right now, this has made like a lot of tension. And I don't know what's going to happen from here. It's going to hurt a lot of us financially, especially considering I'm in the position of having to get ready to move into a very expensive place. And now we're taking a hit to the economy. Something that's been come up and discussed a little bit that caught my interest tremendously is for another state, but that means it does not want to be a state, then we should not force them. Yeah, and I agree. There has to be an agreement made. Don't play political and money games to try and overtake a country. That's not fair, and that's not right to the people, especially if they don't want it, right? And I don't. I am born and raised Canadian with heavy, full British roots, and I intend to remain Canadian. I would get a dual citizenship in the UK. I would even consider living there for a while. That would be it. But we have different values in the United States. We think differently and operate differently, and work differently, and that's why what came up recently was someone was talking about, could Canada become a member of the EU? And that really caught my attention because I think that is a distinct possibility. It kind of got joked about and brushed off like, it's a nice idea, but it'll never happen. But all the cards are on the table. This could be a possibility. Becoming a member of the EU would be very different from being like the 51st state. 51st state means we're being amalgamated to become the entire continent, be the United States. Becoming a member of the EU is just you're kind of joining a club, but we still maintain our sovereignty and we still retain our country. We still can retain our currency and that kind of thing. So I came across an individual by the name of Mike Galsworthy, who was at one time a scientist, and now he works for the European Movement International, actually European Movement UK, which is part of European Movement International. And he has actually arranged and started an addition to that site for European Movement Canada. And it is we will never lose our maple syrup. No, that flows from Quebec like rivers. Don't you worry about that. But the more I heard about, I listened to this, becoming a member of the EU really intrigues me. I mean, we share a lot of values, and I think that would be a tremendous thing for us. I mean, it would be. I know there's some differences we would have to get over. There's some issues. I know one of them being like the quality of food and that kind of thing. But I think these are things that we can actually work through and we can discuss and we can figure out, because oh God, I lost my train of thought there. I was going to say, because these are uncertain times and the EU is open to it. You don't have to live on the European continent to be part of the EU. It can be part of another continent. So if we start an application, we can get things moving. And if we can start things like making new trade agreements with Europe and making new connections and friends and right? We can get things like that going. But I mean, for us, that would be fantastic. I mean, we would eliminate all the issues with visas. Imagine students being able to go back and forth between Europe and Canada and to attend different universities and travel. They're also trying to get UK out of Brexit and back into the EU, which I think will eventually happen. That's not going to last forever. They realize now that was a mistake from the very beginning, and that will happen eventually. It'll just take a bit of time. They'll have to make up a new deal for that. But imagine if they can get that on board and get us with it. They were talking about, the possibility of Greenland and Iceland being part of it, and that we'd have this cross-Atlantic thing as part of the EU. It could make connections with our healthcare that would just be fantastic. And for me, I think, imagine all the international foods we could get. And so for me, this is a really, really big deal. I don't get a lot of viewers on this. But sorry, what did you say? Sorry, I just caught that now. Sorry, I guess the only problem that I have with Canada being the first state is the land is too big. We're talking about land that's bigger than Texas, California. No, it wouldn't. See, when they talk about being the first state, Canada wouldn't be if they actually did that. Like, we have provinces and we have them set like that for a reason. Like, each province is very different from each other as far as the land and what it produces. Trump wants this for minerals and for resources, right? That's the only reason why he's trying to bring this in. And there's a reason why we set up agreements for things like oil and electricity and things like that. So it's but it would be divided up. Maybe they'd keep the provinces as they are, and they would be individual states. So you'd probably have like about 60 some odd states is what you'd end up with. But most of it, the land is not livable. We live close to the border. Most of Canada is not, most of that land up north that is barren and empty is there just because for things like lumber and minerals and that kind of thing, but you can't build on it. It's too rocky and unstable, and it's cold. We've learned we can make do with the cold, but it is too, you can't build cities and towns or anything on that land, and it's a lot of natural land that we want to leave untouched anyways. So but yeah, but what I was going to get to, as far as being a member of the EU, that is something I would love to see happen. I don't know if I'll ever see it in my lifetime. What a shame. I would love to see that. If anyone's watching and they are interested in that, you can go to the website. I can try and add it into the Dingley-Thoo down below after. But if you go to Google and just type in European Movement Canada, it'll be the first thing pop up at the top. You can go there and you can sign it, sort of sign the petition, kind of a petition. You can put your name in. You can click to not receive any emails. You won't get anything from them. I am, because I really want to get on board with this, and I really love to see if I can help do anything I can to make that move forward, which is why the only reason why I'm talking about this now, and I wouldn't normally do so because I don't like to get political. But this has been very frustrating and very annoying for me to constantly hear about. We don't know what's going to happen with tariffs. I don't know what's going to happen with the cost of my food and rent and simple things like buying simple things in the store that are all going to double and triple in price. And they're not going to raise our wages, that's for sure. So how is this going to hurt my pocket? How is this going to hurt my quality of life? And that is why I am bringing this up. My original plan, if I wasn't moving, was to try and get my ancestry visa and go to the UK for a while. I really wanted to live there. for a little while, just because I've got lots of family and friends and just be part of the culture and just live there for a while. I would love to get a dual citizenship, but right now money is going to be a tight issue unless I suddenly get rich. But such as that is. European Movement UK, or sorry, European Movement Canada, and there's European Movement UK on there too to help get the UK back out of Brexit and back into the European Union, which I think will happen in time. That's a whole other thing. But let me just show this one up here for a minute. Sometimes we have to speak our piece about things we hold dear to our heart, even if it means breaking our rules. That we have to do what is right. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And that's the only reason why I'm kind of on here talking about this. Teddy Roosevelt. That's the only reason why I'm on here, and I am discussing this right now. So, something else that came through here. Sorry, the chat just looked funny on the website. Okay. So I guess kind of with that being said, I kind of got through that a little faster than I thought. I'm still looking at the screen, and I'm looking at my monitor, and I still look really awful. Does it look jaundiced to you? Do I look like my skin is yellow? Because I'm looking down at my iPhone. I'm watching the stream on my iPhone. I look a little better on there, but on my screen, I look horrible. Ways to expand the kingdom, perhaps find like-minded community who seek the best for each other. Yeah, that's why I'm putting it out there. I want to find. I do want to find people who are interested and can jump on board. But Simpsons reference. Is that bad? Is it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe if I turn on that backlight again. That's really glaring. That light, though. It's just like. I can try it. I can put it on, but it really makes everything sort of extra bright. All of this is going to come down behind me very soon. I start getting things packed and ready to move. I got to put a lot together in the next little while. I'm going to try and see if I can turn that on, see if it makes a difference. But you can see that's really bright on the one side. One thing I'm looking forward to is when I move. And I got my remote for the stringy lights. When I move, I will. It'll be a smaller space, but I'll be able to do more with it, and I think I'll be able to have a better arrangement than I have here. And I'm looking forward to that. To have. Because I won't have a roommate anymore. I won't be splitting the rent, which will make it more expensive, but I will have my own space. I'll be on live a lot more often. I'll be doing a lot of videos a lot more often. I'll be I'll be starting to sell my work, make a lot of products. I do look a little better now, don't I? That does look a little bit less jaundiced. Discord, yes, I have to learn how to use that damn thing properly, but yes, I would love to start a Discord for sure. I've talked about doing lives on maybe TikTok, just simply because that gets a lot of traction. I can get people on TikTok and then bring them over somewhere else, maybe on Instagram as well, but then get more people on board here, which would kind of start to generate things. I would like to start an affiliate, like an affiliate program with Amazon. I've actually done drawings, some simple, fun line drawings that I would like to start selling, like a coloring book. I want to start selling prints. I've got all this artwork that I've done that I could start posting as prints. If people are interested, I can start. I need to make something that's catchy. I'd listed some things on Instagram a while back saying, hey, I'm trying to sell some prints after we had that little situation with the bed bugs a couple of years ago, and I had to start try and sell something to make some money, and I didn't end up selling anything. But I do have a list of images that I can sell probably as prints. They just don't catch people's attention enough. So the old saying is, people don't buy the art, they buy the artist. So if enough people are interested in what I'm doing on here, And especially if I make something on here and start doing some drawing on here, that might actually generate enough interest to warrant maybe putting out either a book or individual prints. I'd rather sell individual prints. I can put my work on, I don't know, something like Redbubble or something that I can get prints made, make them on T-shirts, that kind of thing. Let me grab the magic iPad here. Let me see if I can show you something I've been working on. What am I looking at here? Oh dear, did I lose something? Comic book sample. So I had done something like these for I can sell these as individual downloads for like a few cents each or something, for like 50 cents or $1 or something, and if enough people are interested. But they're meant to be for coloring, like adult coloring books you can get, only with some funny designs. These are just some goofy fun things if that's visible. So something like this, where you have really, really solid lines, simple shapes, really simple shapes, and areas that can be colored in. I was thinking I have to break the sky up a bit more, but something like this I think is really cute. And this was the first test one I did, just to make ideas with shapes. Something like like this, right? You can this just super uber simple. What else have I got here? This one I really like, but the spaces are too big. I think if for coloring, he's going to color in that cloud. So I think something like that, you'd have to, I need to kind of break up the clouds a bit more. Individual artwork. Let's see. This one's I'm still working on, right? This is one of the bird. So yeah, I do, I do a lot of things kind of for fun that is supposed to be nostalgic, but you can't do, I can't sell something that's copyrighted. I know somebody, an artist, who does cartoons of actors, like really famous actors, but when they were younger in TV shows in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? Older stuff. So he's got like, he's done one of say, Laugh-In, and has a little intro, and they're really fantastic. They're so fun. And he's done like the Jeffersons, but I think he has to get the rights to do that. Bird is I was joking about that with a friend of mine the other night. A friend of mine was saying something about birds, and I started singing that song. They had me like, I would love to sell this as a print. I know it's I got too much glare on it, but you can't see the detail. Oh god, it is really washed out. There's full detail inside the center of the ship there, but no matter how close I get, you can't see it. Damn, that's really annoying. That you can kind of, when it's on an angle, you can see it a little better. When I tip it up, it's too much glare. But I mean, things like that I would really like to do. So it's something that's familiar with people, that is current, that is familiar, that people kind of understand. I do a lot of there's a lot of abstract things like this. What else have I got? I got a way of this was one I'm working on, but it's still not finished. Right, that one I'm still kind of working on, just abstract. What else can I show you? Oh, this is one that people seem to like, is the dragon. That would be great as a t-shirt. I wish I had my Doctor Who as a cat. I don't have Dr. Cat up. This, a lot of people seem to really like this one. I'll get this one done up as prints. Sorry, let me just go back here and the Lucky Rabbit. Oh, yeah, he is. That's true. That is true. Not many people kind of know about him, but it is. And I think the early design for Mickey Mouse is, you can't do the newer one that has the full eyes, but the older one I think is. It's really strange the way that's the way that is. But is Matt? I'm not surprised. Yeah, that poor guy's going through a lot. He's a really good friend of mine, and man, I feel for him. That's another discussion. I don't want to. But I've been doing these weird things, like weird shapes like this. These I think would be kind of fun for, like, I don't know, like backgrounds of phones, right? That I do these kind of unfortunately, you can't see a lot of the detail. There was like this was something I've started working on. I'm not done yet. Again, there's hey, look who it is. How you doing, man? Oh, you missed the big controversial part. What else have I got here? Stuff that I started and never finished. Right. This was when I was doing this as an example because it was actually one of the backgrounds I had to do. And oh, it's too glared out again. It's not finished. It was a digital painting that was based off of one that I did ages ago for Rupert the Bear. There's lots of things I can. This, like, I made these sort of fake book covers, right? The Mouse in the House, that kind of thing, and yes, I do agree. They definitely are. I could tell you some stories, but oh, I don't have the one that I wanted to do here. But I mean, there's like the Mouse and the Cheese, things like this that are fun, but they're not going to sell as prints, right? They're cool, fun little things, but no, not at all, Matt. I was talking more about our political situation, and I've talked to you about this, about the fact becoming part of the European Union, and that the European Movement Canada is actually up and operating now on the European International website. So I'm just trying to kind of talk a little bit about that and get people to go sign it. So it's always surprised. This is one I did fun the other night. I don't quite like the design of the guy. Maybe I might just adjust the legs a bit. But this was one I thought was really fun. I don't know if many people would kind of get that, but I mean, but that's kind of something that I'm little things like that are closer to a reference that people can recognize. So, but so he gets votes. I'm just reading some of the things here. She got votes, yeah. So Fred, yeah, I know, that was kind of the idea. It was sort of Flintstone style. But yeah, what else do I got here? Anyways, that's kind of like I can't do anything like this. This is obviously copyrighted. I can't really do that, right? So, I don't know what else I've got here. Anyways, you kind of get the idea. I can do some Canada. Oh, blame you. I know, right? I can definitely do some Canadian content as well. I'm just trying to see what else I've got here on this that I can put up to kind of show as a sample of what I'm doing. But as I said, people buy the artist as opposed to buying the art, right? If somebody likes you and they like what you're doing, then they'll buy something of yours to support it. And that's kind of what I kind of need to do. So, is he Felix the Cat? Is he public domain? That's into a lot of like touchy stuff. But so yeah, that might be a bit tricky. I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is, what would you buy? Like, what would catch your attention if an artist you like was making something that appealed to you? What would make you buy a print? What would make you buy their T-shirt? What would make you buy it on a hat or a shower curtain? What would make you buy? If you saw it online or saw it at a convention, what would make you put money down on the table and says, I have to own that? So that's true. Yeah, that character is really old. Felix the cat. Do you know at first when you first posted that? I don't know why Fritz the cat came to mind. That's a whole nother thing. But once before they started to think of money. Yeah, you can make that as the line underneath. Yeah, good. Let me post this on. I was also going to start doing layout demos, like as far as how to do like animation layouts, and I was thinking of doing something like that. And I was looking at a couple of animated series that were done at Nelvana, stuff that I never got the opportunity to work on. And I thought, wow, what if this was handed to me as a storyboard and I got to do this as a job? And I thought of maybe doing that. One series that was in the late 90s, early 2000s that would have been fun to work on, and it was after I had kind of fallen out of it, was Bob and Margaret. And it was a joint UK-Canadian production. It was written and voiced in the UK, and it was sent to Nelvana for Nelvana to animate. It was based off of a short that won an Academy Award in 1993. And then 6 years later, they did it as a TV series that went for 4 seasons. The first 2 seasons took place in the UK because it was co-produced, but in the UK it got canceled, unfortunately. But they continued it in Canada for 2 more seasons. A couple of the voices changed, but they changed the setting. They made it that they moved to Canada, and then the last 2 seasons was how this British couple were adjusting in life in Canada. So it went for 4 seasons, but boy, it looked like it would have been a fun series to work on. I'm disappointed that it didn't. That I didn't. I wish I could have jumped on that one sooner. It looked like it would have been a lot of fun. Turning Felix the cat into a Fritz the cat movie, basically. Oh boy, that would. But you know, I was looking at a scene from Bob and Margaret. It was a really simple scene of them sitting at a table discussing something, and as they're sitting there, the 2 dogs on the floor walk around the table and poke their heads up on the other side. And I thought, okay, how would I break that down? Now, although it was the late 90s, like 99, 2000. They were already using like scanning and doing a lot of it digitally, so they could digitally overlay stuff really, really easy by that point. So doing it like the old-fashioned way with paper was already kind of done with. Like I'm sure the layouts and everything and some of the animation was done on paper, and then it was obviously because you can see the pencil grain, but it was scanned in and colored on computer, and I think the backgrounds were done on the computer. And then obviously you don't have to worry about laying cells to have pictures taken of that. It can now just be scanned in. And you don't have to worry about layers. So you have to worry as much about things like match lines and whatnot, right? So that made that aspect of it easier. Match lines where you have a character going by, and let's say there's like a lamppost or something in front, and the character has to walk behind it. If the lamppost is painted as part of a single background, how do you get that character to go behind it? Well, you made a match line where the animation stops and restarts on the other side. So that it appears to move behind it. And if you go really slow, frame by frame, you can actually see the edges of where that is to match up along with the painting. As opposed to just having an overlay laid over top, because then you get the issue of shadows and you get issues of, or if the object is sort of built into the background, it can't be on a separate layer. But right, so I was going to kind of show how something like this particular scene was done. So I think I might take that, make it like into a storyboard panel, and I could show how you would receive the storyboard with instructions and break all of that down, that whole thing. So do the background, any foreground images, the layers of animation, what's moving, what isn't, how that would all be layered. And I've actually already kind of saved the scene and started really kind of looking at it frame by frame and looking at how the dogs are going behind the legs of the table and it would move through it. So really kind of interesting, really kind of fun stuff. And that kind of thing I think is is a kind of challenging and interesting thing that I would like to see if I can do. And I thought it'd be really fun to kind of show that on here one night in a live stream. But again, I don't know if I'll get a chance to do that before May 1st. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I don't know if I should. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I thought I would do something fun just to show these kind of basic. Let me tilt this up a bit more. Like when I was showing you some stuff on the leg is not coming down on this. What is wrong? There we go. When I had the iPad up and I was showing just these general shapes with drop shadows, and I was going to kind of try and do a demo with that. If interested, if you'd like to see how it's done in a really simple, you can do it in any art program. You can even do it, even though I refuse to put this thing on my computer, you could do it in, what's the cheap one with the dog? What's the free art program that's sort of the really, really low budget Photoshop knockoff? It's been so long, I've forgotten the name of it. It's so terrible. It's laughable. It's so terrible. It's not Krita. Krita is actually pretty good. I don't use it, but Krita is actually not bad. GIMP, that is it. GIMP. My word. Just don't use it. I mean, if you're really on a tight budget and you really just need something simple, I guess if you're an artist and you want something free, just get Krita. And if you have a little bit of money to spend, if you have an iPad like Procreate or something as a one-time payment, you're off to the races. If you can spend a little bit more money, you want to get Clip Studio Paint. And you don't have to get the absolute newest version. Oh, if you use Clip Studio, version 4 just dropped yesterday. So you can get that. It's up on the website if you use Clip Studio Paint. I've got it now already. Take a good look. I know their pricing breakdown is really confusing, but it's still far cheaper than Photoshop. And if you just need something for art, that is the way to go. I tell people Clip Studio, Clip Studio, Clip Studio. All right. Sorry. Email there caught my attention. If you're more into like graphics and whatnot, there is, Pixelmator Pro. If you like doing something like that, I suggest it's fairly inexpensive, and you can do art. You can do full art in that. I'm going to do a demonstration on that sometime. And Affinity Designer is one. You can do both. There's two personas. Most people don't know it. They open it up and think, oh, this is an Illustrator, their version of Illustrator. It is. In the top left, if you click on Pixel Persona, it switches to like just a general art. Your what do you call it? I'm really having a hard time with words. I'm getting very forgetful on the names of things. Let me just kind of open that up really briefly here for a second. I swear I'm going to have Alzheimer's in the next 10 to 15 years. Caitlin, what are you saying here? Clip Studio Paint, yeah. I got Krita on Steam. Okay. Yeah, Krita is good. I just never learned to figure out how to add more tools to it. But Krita is a good program, though. If like an animation software that can have onion skinning. Okay, I should suggest a few things. Depends on what you have. If you have an iPad, I want to make a couple recommendations. Onion skinning, layers, save all frames onto file it's supposed to having saved for each frame. Yeah. It starts getting to animation. You can do Clip Studio. You can do some animation on Clip Studio, just little bits, little short bits. Most of them are really short. There is, what was the free one? Pencil. There's a free animation program. It's a bit of a learning curve, but it is free. My memory is something else, man. My memory is gone. Oh, there's OpenTunes is one of them. And Pencil 2D, I guess it's called. I thought it was something else. No, it is Pencil 2D. There's a new one called Animaker. I've never seen that before. There's Blender, but Blender is just confusing. Pencil 2D and OpenTunes, those are the ones that you kind of want to look at if you want to do some animation. If you want to animate. But for just doing drawing, there was Designer Persona and Pixel Persona, which is when you want to do when you rasterize. That's right. When you want to rasterize something as opposed to vector, right? Vector is a lot of bending. I lost my screen. 1 second. There's a lot of bending of points, but vector you can zoom right in as big as you want, and you won't lose any quality. But as for rasterizing, that's where when you zoom in and you start to lose quality, but you get the very nice loose flow of freehand drawing. So that's kind of, if you have an iPad, there's some really good animation programs. There's a couple of like ToonSquid, I think is one. I forget the other one. And Procreate Dreams, I know are the ones right now, the big name ones that are coming up. And Procreate Dreams, there's going to be some big updates to that, and that's going to be, like, I've got it now. It's really good as it is. Man, it's going to be better very soon. They're adding some major updates, I think, within this year. That's going to blow everything out of the water. So I'm doing some work, searches or something. Again. Oh, well, yeah. I started doing, to kind of get the brain working, I started doing these little card puzzle games just to get my mind active again. But I still find I forget names and terms and things like that. But and I opened Affinity Designer, which I did not want to do. I wanted to actually Clip Studio Paint, since I've been talking about it. So I'm going to close it, open Clip Studio Paint, and then I'll open up the screen here to do something. I'm not sure why yet. Illustration. We'll just do 8x10, but you can. I actually like to hook up the iPad sometime. I know I can get the iPad hooked up so you can see the iPad on the screen, and I can get like a side-by-side thing going. I think that'd be really cool. Let's see. Share. Is everyone still there? Matt, is Matt still there? I did want to chat with Matt if he was there, but if not, that's okay. If you're still there, I'll try and get in touch with you after. I'm not going to be too much later. I thought I'd do something really, really quick, just for fun, just for shits and giggles, but I'm having trouble getting the share thing up and working. Oh, there we go. Screen? Window, entire screen, or just the window? Let's try just the window. If that doesn't work, we'll go entire screen. Okay. Let's get a better thing that'll fill that out a bit more. There we go. I think that's good. Did I lose everyone in the meantime? Did I lose everyone in the meantime? Right. Oh, God, I gotta get this up. See, that's why you can tell I have British roots, because I actually start using a glottal stop after a while. I have this weird, I fall into this weird amalgamated British Canadian accent sometimes, just because of my upbringing. And there we go. And you can actually hear it come through sometimes. when I ask questions, I'll go downwards. So like I'll when I ask a question, I'll and I get it from my mother, because I remember when my mother would come home, and I mean my mother was born Canadian, but her mother was British, and her father was Scottish, and she would come home and she'd be tired from work, and she'd ask me, "Would you like a cup of tea? Should I put on the kettle and make a cup of tea?" And I'd be like, "Yes, please." But she'd ask downwards. It wouldn't be as Canadians. We have a Canadian rise, they call it. So we talk, we go upwards. But in the UK, it goes downwards. So do you want to come out with us tonight? What are you doing? Are you still there? I do have hard R's at the end. That's the only thing, is my R's don't go open. But I will hit a glottal stop sometimes. And my I sound goes I, which is actually also Canadian. It's an Eastern and Northern Ontarian thing. So the I sound is very I as opposed to I. And depending who I talk to, I know I will fall into that. And let me just see if I can bring up some pencil. I'll show you something you can do for fun. I've watched a lot of Red Green. Isn't that a great show? Now that's another totally different accent altogether. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah, it's a great show. Used to watch that on and off for years and years. Funny stuff, that guy. Holy crap, it used to make me laugh. Used to watch that, and Corner Gas were two big ones I used to watch. A lot of people who like Canadian shows really liked Trailer Park Boys. I never got into that one myself, but that was just got a bit, I don't know. Couldn't get into that one myself, but I did watch Corner Gas, and I did watch a bit of Red Green growing up. We used to watch a lot of British programming as well. But if you, duct tape solution for everything. The funny joke about that, we used to joke about that a lot, that duct tape would be like the solution for everything. And duct tape hates me so much. It really does. It just, every time I try to use duct tape, it sort of fails awesomely, and I don't know how to describe or explain why, but duct tape and I just do not get along for some reason. But, Letterkenny is another great one. Oh my God, that one made me laugh. Yeah, sorry, I really like it's so wrong, some of it. It's really kind of raunchy, and just you've got to be in the right mindset for that one. I have Clip Studio Paint open, so if you're looking to kind of make something really simple, let's say you want to make your own phone backdrop, this is really a thing that I kind of do. I sort of do this when I'm on the phone and I'm just doodling and I'm not making anything specific, but I'm starting with a pencil sketch, and you can kind of make just sort of a really wild design or something if you want, like this. I want to see if I can connect it up properly, but if, I know what I can do here, because you can do different layers, right? And I want to keep it in a little bit of a narrower spot in case, wants to make their own. And I'll have another one kind of in the middle like this. Not really too worried about hard details yet. So I am going to add another layer on top of that. I'm going to turn the pencil down because we're going to ink it, and get a nice, smooth, solid ink layer on it, right? G-Pen is good enough. And I'm going to put the stabilization up because I need this to really smoothly connect. And I want to make sure I'm on the right layer. So this will need to lock off. I have a bad habit of drawing on the wrong layer, and I need to learn to stop doing that. Okay. Layer 2. Did I lose everyone? It shows 0 on here. Maybe that's just, maybe this thing isn't accurate. I don't know. I feel like I've just lost everyone. Like, oh, he's doing something boring. Phil, you should sell your artwork. Really? Here, let's do some. Bye. Everyone says, you're such an amazing artist. You should sell your work. Or I'd show them a piece of art. And, oh, that's fantastic. Oh, you could probably sell that artwork. Really? I'll sell this one to you right now for $1. Oh, gotta go. Right? You just answered my question of why that does not work. Let's get a hard eraser going here, just to tighten this up just a tad. We're going to get rid of these black lines later, so I'm not too worried. I just want to get rid of that indentation. It's a little wobbly, but that's okay. I don't want to spend a long time on this tonight. I'll show this is a really simple thing that anyone can do. We're just dealing with shapes, right? Where it's something if you want to make your own little fun little backdrop for your phone. Now, what I'm going to do to make this non-destructive, I should maybe move this on the other side. Let's see if I can move this over. There we go. So when you see the layers here, this one right here is pencil. I'm going to get rid of that shortly, and the one above it is my ink drawing. I'm going to put a layer beneath it, and let's name these so we don't lose track, right? I'm going to call this one ink, and this one's just pencil. That's fine, and this one is going to be my first layer of color, right? And so I'm going to fill this with color. I'll show you something. If you know what a reference layer is, does anyone know what a reference layer is? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Let's get some color. Put the color underneath. And it's Mr. Paul Pate is in the room. Hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you. I'm surprised you're awake. If I put this color down now, if I hit this color and try and fill the space, will it stay inside the lines? No, it will not. And the reason being is because it's on a completely empty clear layer. So, but if I go over to this right here, see this where it says ink, and I'm going to highlight that one. That's the ink layer, and I click on this little lighthouse. It makes this a reference layer, and it makes that blank layer underneath reference these ink lines. I'm going to get rid of the pencil so it's not distracting me. So now when I go back to color, click on the color layer, and I take my paint can over here. Now if I click on that, is that going to stay in the lines now? Will it stay in the lines? Anyone? Yes, it will. That's still a separate layer, but it's referencing the line work up above. So if I hit the little eyeball, which makes that layer invisible. So I'm going to hit the layer with the ink. You'll see I've got that shape, right? Got that lovely, lovely shape. Now at the moment, this is a blank, simple shape. There's not much to it. If we want to add a bit of texture to it, I can do that. But adding texture won't keep it in the reference line. That's only something for the paint can. So let's say I go to this tone scraping, and I want to go to a little bit darker, you can see that goes outside the line. I like to add these these details on another layer. I'm just going to call that one texture. Yeah, we've got a lot of layers going, but I like using layers. I like stuff to be as non-destructive as possible. So I'm going to call that one texture, and what we can do is when we select a color, and I get the little magic wand, and I highlight that. You can see the marching ants. Let's get rid of this line. I can take care of the line because you don't need that at the moment on the ink. Go on texture. Now you can see how that's highlighted here. You can see the marching ants. It's going to block everything inside of it, and everything outside of it will not be touched. So I'll get my little spray can. I've picked out the tone scraping, and I can do a little bit of light tone like this, and you can see all those little dots. Let me make that larger, and you can see also that it won't go out here. Nothing out there, but it's in there, right? Let me largen this, and we're just going to do a very light brush over top, and it gives a bit of texture. And if you want to make like a bit of a light source, say from coming from the upper right, I can shrink the brush size, and I can do a little more down here just to make it look a little bit heavier. Oh, you did. Alrighty. Yeah, something to play around with, eh? Right? Show on screen. There we go. Open Toons, very promising for free, and what I wanted though, still figure it out. Yeah, play around with that, and I also recommend Pencil 2D. Play with that too. You might find that one even a little bit easier. Maybe, maybe not, but see what you think. They're both very low intensive on your CPU. So yeah, good luck though, man. Cheers. 1 L in my name. But yeah, I'm glad you got to try that. I'm glad you could try that out. Using Flipnote Studio Nintendo DS for my Egg Mario. Okay, all right. Alrighty. Let's kind of keep going with this here. So I'm going to add a little more onto this side. And now let's say let's make a little bit lighter color, and I can do a little bit lighter. Actually, I'm going to make them right white because that's a really light green. Even that doesn't really show up as much, but it does lighten it, doesn't it? That makes it maybe too light. I don't know. What about if I did yellow? I can see it, but it's not showing up on the screen very well. Right, so now here comes the fun part. I'm going to go Command D on the Mac. I forget what it is on animations. I see. All right. I see what you're saying. And thanks to you, I finally have free software similar to Flipnote Studio. Well, I look forward to more animations. Good for you, mate. I am glad. Oops, sorry. What bookmark added? Oh, crap. I just hit it on the wrong screen. Oof. Click over here. Command D to get rid of the marking ants. What I'm going to do is take this color level. Oh, let me get this so I can clear it off. I'm glad you got use out of that, though, man. That's great that you could find that. I'm going to duplicate this, right? Right-click. Come on. Right, there we go. Jeez. Right-click, duplicate layer. And it's not showing on here, but I'm seeing it on my screen because it's only showing the screen and not the window. I've right-clicked. I'm selecting duplicate. Oh, I should maybe switch this. I'm going to switch this to share the screen. There, that's a little bit better. It shrinks it a bit, but I can kind of show you what I'm doing a little bit better, right? So I right-click, duplicate layer, right? What did I just do? Did I hit delete by mistake? I did. Oh, duplicate layer. Man, that thing. There we go. So you see I've got a color copy there on top. What I'm going to do now, select black down in the bottom left. You can't see it because my fat face is covering it, but down here is color, and I'm going to select black. Get my bucket, and I'm going to pour that black. Now you're seeing the spots on there because the texture is on a different layer. So let's get rid of that. I'm just going to make that invisible. Now it's black, but you can see the colors underneath. I'm just going to flip those around. I'm going to drag it underneath. Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to get this. Now I've selected my, this is selection tool. And right now I have the black layer, the color copy, and I'm going to drag that out. Oh, it's making a shadow. Wow. I'm going to call that shadow. That's a pretty hard shadow. That almost makes it look kind of three-dimensional. If you like that, you can keep it. But I want to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Now, if I add in the texture back into it, I still wish I could highlight the other side a bit more. I'm going to see on that texture, on the texture level, if I can add a little more. Well, there's highlight. Let's see what I can do with the highlight. Oh, wow, that just kind of looks like it's erasing it because it wants to make kind of not what I wanted to do. I don't know, what do you think? That just kind of looks like it's erasing it, but it's actually adding a highlight to it. It's not adding the white that I wanted it to. I might actually have to take the pen, let's pick white. See, that's kind of what I wanted, but it's too, maybe it's a little bit better. I wanted a little highlight like that, but the shadow is working a bit better. Right, so that makes it look a little more highlight, a little more circular. So let's go back to the shadow. I'll finish what I was doing a minute ago. And what are we going to do here? Let's first of all blur that out a bit because shadows are not that sharp. Sometimes they are when it's really close, but I don't like it. It's too sharp. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. I'm going to select Gaussian Blur because you can actually select how blurry and fuzzy you want it. And if you slide that across and let go, it kind of have to put the setting, and when you let go, it adjusts it, right? It seems to adjust it afterwards. So if I bring it all the way back down, it sharpens it, bring it all the way over here. There we go. I kind of wish it would do it as you slide it across, but it needs to make that adjustment. So that's not bad in there. There's a nice fuzziness to that, right? Click OK. Now that's still really dark. It's really, really dark. If you like it that dark, you can leave it that dark if you'd like. But I'm going to go over to this thing right here, which is the opacity level, and you can bring that all the way down until it's invisible. You can have a little bit light. You can darken it a bit. I want it a little bit dark because this is close to the edge, maybe about like that. And there you go. You've got this nice 3D object that has, so it looks like it's sitting above the paper level. And the paper level, you can also change color when you select it. You can't see because my fat face is in the way. What if I moved it up here? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, let me get rid of this for just a second so you can see. I've selected the paper level, and you can actually change the color of your background paper. Oh, I thought you could change that. Maybe not. All right. Oh, there. You double click it, and you can get the color of the paper. I want maybe like a nice soft blue. Really soft. Let's maybe lighten that a bit. Hey, Abba, I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? My word, my stars. This has been quite a while, hasn't it? What purple? Oh, I like the purple. It stands out. Purple and green, kind of a Joker color a bit, but we'll lighten that purple a lot. There we go. Okay, I kind of like that. And you can add texture to the background in that too if you like. So there you go. I've got this on Spotlight, that's why. So that's really it. And actually, if you want to, something I've done too is if I remove the texture, I'm going to remove the texture for a second because you can actually repeat this with another shape on top. So I'm going to, like I can make another level on top of this inside it. So let's say I just take the pen and I'll add another whoops. I don't have a lot of room for the mouse, and it keeps, let's just call that second color. I'm not going to ink it. Like if you like the ink on it, you can add the ink line around it still. I kind of like it without it, actually. Second color, though, let's say if we added an orange. Orange will really stand out. Let's say like a dark blue, and go over here, and I'm just gonna. Boy, that really is dark, isn't it? do something like that. And I think if I tried to fill that, it's not going to. Oh, it did. All right. Very nice. All right. We can do the same thing again. And it does look a little dark, doesn't it? Let's see if I tried to lighten that a bit. Ooh. Actually, I do want to go back to light blue. That's really light. There. All right, that's good enough just for this example. I don't need to go nuts. Let's do it again. Duplicate the layer. Don't delete it. Duplicate it. That's the copy. Get your paint bucket. Let's go to complete black. Fill that in black. Put it behind the blue color. Grab your little arrow and we'll drag that out because it's going to be sitting on top of that, so it's going to make another shadow. And I'm doing okay. You missed the big stuff at the beginning, but I am doing all right. You had some health scares, but still have... Oh, God, I'm sorry. I hope you're doing all right. I'm going to slide this blue over a bit. Yeah, I've got a few little health issues, too. I have apparently early on stage osteoporosis and some back issues and having some pain, and I'm also in the process of moving and just yada, yada, yada. I'm going to lighten that a bit, and we'll do another Gaussian blur on that level. See, now I know how to do it. I can just zip through it really quick, because now I'm not really explaining, I'm just doing it. Right? And if we bring this up, we can soften it just like that. So you have one layer on top of the other, right? And it creates a sort of paper cutout effect of these different... I'm going to bring that back up a bit, of these different layers, kind of, and you can do lots. Like you can make multiple inside the image if you want lots of different shapes. We can make the edges really rough. Let's see, hard eraser. I think that's. I don't have very many erasers, don't I? No, there's rough, but that doesn't look very rough. So if I try to, oops. Add like a rough to make it. Nope, that's not. Yeah, this one looks rougher than that one does. Half-toned eraser. I don't know. That one's not. Okay, I want to make it look like that, really like it's been torn out, and I don't have the right eraser for that. I'll have to see if I can. Kneaded eraser really kind of won't do it unless it's hard. Opacity will make it really, really hard. Will that do it? Not really. No. I mean, kind of, I guess, but it's not really what I wanted. Okay, but you get the idea. You can get erasers and download erasers that have that kind of effect to it. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of demonstrating. Does anybody have any questions about this? Have I missed anything more in the stream? Mr. Paul Pate came in. I know it's late for Paul. He's probably crashed out. I keep missing Paul's show Saturday mornings. I really want to. I really want to catch his show, but he's so early Saturday mornings, and I work late. I don't get to bed until like 3 a.m. on a Friday night, and then I can't be up at like 8 to catch his show. Just. Oh, thanks very much. I haven't locked a place yet. Here, let me get this back on. Get me back on screen here. I haven't. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I haven't locked onto a place just yet. I'm still in the process of. Well, I'm trying to. I'm really close, but I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I have to put all the paperwork. I'm going to try and put most of the paperwork in. I can't get the money order made up yet. So I don't know. There's a chance I might lose the place that I'd like. So we'll see. I am also looking at basement apartments, but I didn't want to for a couple of reasons. I can take a basement apartment if it comes to it, but I'm not thrilled about the idea. As always, my fear that if I get it, I sign a contract for a year, then let's say the people who own the house want to sell the house in a year. Now I have to move again. I don't want to do that. Oh, hey, Paul's still there. He's listening. um, yeah, I also in your basement there's lack of windows and light, right? Like I don't like being in the dark like that. All it's feeling like I'm living underground in the dark most of the time. At my age, I want something. I want like a normal apartment. Um, so it's things like that. And for the price they're charging, people are charging the price they're charging for basement apartments is the same or close to the same as a regular apartment in an apartment building with controlled entry and security and cameras, where a house basement don't have all that, and yet they're charging the same amount and for the same amount of space. So um, I might as well just try and find an actual apartment if I can. I'd like to. And sometimes a lot of these apartments I'm looking at, like weird layouts. The kitchen's kind of oddly put together, and they've tried to squeeze things in. It's just, I don't know, not catching with me. You know what I'm saying? So, well, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, you haven't done it in a while. Okay. All right. Hope you're doing all right, Paul. Thanks so much. Um, I don't know. That's kind of all I thought I'd do tonight. Is this little kind of this little thing like this? It's easy to do. You can make your own little iPhone background, right? If you want, you can change the opacity on the whole thing if you want. But that's it. That was all I was doing. But should I keep that? I mean, does anyone like that, or should I just delete that? You are not kidding. Rent is absolutely bananas. I'm. I can move to Hamilton. I was talking about this earlier, that I can move to the city next to mine, Hamilton, which is cheaper because Hamilton. It's a steel town. When you're up in the mountain away from the lake, it's a little nicer, but closer to the lake is closer to here. So I could move to Hamilton and spend an hour taking the bus to work. Do I really want to do that? Or I could pay an extra couple of $100 for a slightly smaller place but be in a nicer city within walking distance of work, across the street from the mall, just a little bit happier place. So I'm sort of debating on that, which is because if I go to Hamilton, sure, there's a little bit bigger apartment. It's a couple $100 less, but then I have to spend a lot more time commuting. I don't like wasting my life. If I can, and it'll be an extra $100 to $150 for the bus, but for $200 more, I can walk to work, right? And so and be in a better town, but just in a smaller place. So I'm torn between the two, right? What I should do. And I might lose the place here. The more expensive but smaller place is like right down, it's about a 20-minute walk from where I am now. I'm going to call them tomorrow morning and see if it's still available. There was two. There was a full regular bedroom and a junior one bedroom. And the full bedroom's gone, but it was $100 more. But I might be able to get, last I heard, the junior was still available. I've put together the paperwork right over there, and I can try for it and see. But again, this is Burlington. It is the 6th most expensive city in Canada. It was like Vancouver, Toronto. It listed Hamilton. Hamilton's actually cheaper, but ugh. Okay, I got it back. I don't. Am I still here? I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Paul. I agree 100%. I don't know what I hit. I still have the other screen open here, but it completely went blank. I like hit something on my mouse, and I don't know if it's a Chrome feature to go private or something like that. But man, I don't know what happened. Um, but I think I'm back. All right, Paul, if you can hear me, have a good night, and we will chat soon. I was going to ask if you want to hop on, but I know it's late. I know you're probably tired, but take care. We will chat again soon. I'd like to have you on here again as a guest one night. So. I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if you could hear me or not, or if it went quiet as well. But I hit something on here that I think went on the Chrome tab went into private, and I don't know what it did. But touching the mouse. No, you can hear me? Okay, good. As long as you can see and hear me again, that's great. Because I'm going to wrap it up anyways. I was going to ask if you felt like popping on, Paul, just to say hello and see what's going on, but it's up to you if you'd like to or not. But oh, you're dozing off. Okay, have a good night. Answers that. All right. All right. Well, it's 11:30 where I am. I have some more work I need to do, and then I have a very good friend of mine from the UK who usually calls me in the evening. He can be up anywhere between now and in the next 2 hours. But I do like to be available to chat with him, and I do need to talk with my other friend, Mr. Matt Ash. You should check him out on Matt Ash TV on his channel. I think that's about it. I don't know. Should I keep this? I don't know if I should keep this thing. It was just a sample. Look at this. I've cleared this. I've lost it again. I don't know if I should keep this or not, but I might just delete it unless somebody thinks it's interesting enough to keep. I can make these really easy. We were talking about that earlier. Abba, I don't. Here's the thing, really quickly. I find Discord really confusing. Somebody needs to sit and explain some of that to me. I can get on it and I can watch people, but man, I don't. It's weird to me, and I don't fully understand it. If I start, I do want to start. I do have it, and everybody's been asking me now about that. But I'll see what I can do. If I can have somebody kind of just really slowly walk me through it, like the basics to get on. I can watch somebody else. Somebody went on and they had, I don't know, like they shared video on it, and then they closed, but everybody could still keep talking, and they could send images and pictures and still keep chatting even when I'm not there. It's a bit weird to me, but if someone can, that's sure, absolutely. But if you're talking about Discord, I need to understand. I need to understand how it works. I'm going to try and get on TikTok a little bit, and I'm going to try and get on. I do lives on TikTok. I'm going to try and do lives on Instagram. This is only so I can drive traffic to here, because I really still like doing YouTube the most. That's always been my favorite. I want to start making actual videos again. So anyways, with that, I was taught before I go, one more time, I'm going to mention European Union, European Movement Canada. You'll have to go back to the beginning to see what I was talking about at the beginning, Abba. But I'm pushing to generate interest for getting Canada as part of the European Union. You can Google European Movement Canada, go there. You can sign in and sign. There's sort of a petition, or just put your name to it. I think it's a really good idea for Canada, and it would help give us a lot more options in what we're doing. And I would love to see Canada be part of the European Union. I do have an email I do. One moment. It's basically my last name. Like see Phil Chandler Arts. Knock off the Phil. Just Chandler Art, no S, Chandler Art at me, myself, and I.com. Can I put that in here? Last time I tried to do this, it wouldn't let me do it. Oh, it did. Awesome sauce. Okay, there it is. Thank you. So are you. I have to put that up. Yay, I'm cool. My mom thinks I'm cool. Yeah, so there you go. And I think at that, I'm gonna close Clip Studio Paint. I'm gonna get rid of that image because they're super easy to make. I can bang those off. One time I'll see if I can set up on Procreate to do that on the stream because it's. I know a lot of people have Procreate and they can do that on. I'm doing it again, and it's easy to open up on an iPad and to follow along on an iPad. So I will get rid of that. Do not save. Goodbye. And closing out Clip Studio Paint. And I'm going to close off this monitor and pull the curtains, close the drawbridge, if you get that Canadian reference. And I think we will call it a night for tonight. Right? It's been wonderful having you all on here tonight. And hopefully I can do some longer streams. I'd like to in the future once I've moved and I have the new studio set up. I can do much longer videos, and we can get some chats going and some fun things going. I have a lot of plans for that I wanted to do originally. I should have been doing by now, but I'm not due to circumstances. But we'll see in a couple of months what happens. Oh, very good. All right, thank you. I'll look for those. All right, everyone. The magic is ending, and I'm saying good night. And we'll see you sometime soon. We'll see you in the future.